my mama's first child. Yes. My brother Andre Muhammad.
Please. Cut. Start again.
Hey, this is Adelia with ARS to Africa, and today we have a special guest, my mother's first child, her firstborn son, Andre Muhammad. Yay! But I wanted to bring Andre on today because he's a world traveler. He's been, actually, now I want to say world traveler. He is an African traveler. He's traveled throughout the continent. And I wanted to get his perspective on different African countries and why he's choosing Kenya to invest in. So, what inspired you to travel? What's the motivating force that pushed you to start traveling?
Well, once came into knowledge of self many years ago, 19, and it goes back to Dr. Khaled Abdul Muhammad, who my first introduction to Islam through him in terms of live in person. He came to Hampton University, and he taught so much on the history of Africa, and he spoke to us in Kiswahili language, and I was just so impressed with him and the history of our people, things I never heard before. And was inspired, and from that point I was like, through my study that I definitely got to go, to Africa and study research. So the burning desire started then. So it was just really a matter of time and planning. And then I would say fast forward to somewhere in the early 2000s, Minister Akbar Muhammad, who was I'll be pleased with him as the national representative for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, based in Africa. And Africa was on my mind to go and visit, but at that time it was still feeling kind of like so distant, so unknown, so uncharted territory. You just don't know where to begin. But when he came to Philly, and it kind of made it real because he was conducting trips going over to Ghana and so forth. I was able to get questions answered and hands-on. It was like after that, I was like, I'm going. So it was just really after, from that point, just kind of planning things out. And I was intending to travel. I forget what my initial destination was going to be. But then my sister surprised me, and you and Mama packed up and decided y'all were moving to Rwanda and give me a chance to plan nothing. Y'all were gone already.
But you know what? I remember the conversation because I was nervous, because you're going to have these conversations when you want to relocate and you got grown children. Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, we're going to have this conversation and be like, Dre, we're moving to Rwanda. He was like, oh man, I was thinking about going. I was like, what? Yeah, I always wanted to go to, I don't know what country it was.
It wasn't East Africa.
It wasn't East Africa.
I was going west.
Yeah. So, but you weren't mad. And that was the funny thing, because I was like, even me and Mommy, we were like, that wasn't better than we thought. We thought he was going to be mad.
That's because initially I thought y'all were going for a short stay visit.
I
didn't know what y'all was talking about. Permanent. That was on the second call. I was like, wait. So y'all not coming back?
He said, we moving. So yeah, it was funny because up until that point, and you live in Philly, we live in Atlanta. So up until that point, I might see you once every couple of years. Mm. Well, I see you every 6 months now. Every 6 months. And he hasn't skipped a month in 6 years. Mm. You've been coming back and forth to the continent.
I think it's you take it for granted when you're family, when you're like close together. You take it for granted that I can go see them anytime. I can just, you know what I mean. And so you tend to put things off. So, but when y'all moved over to the continent, it's like you can't take that for granted. It's not like going.
Yeah.
I can't just jump on a plane and get to you in an hour or so. So I have to be very intentional in making sure that life is short and tomorrow's not promised. So I have to be intentional, making sure I get over here.
So, like for me, my introduction to travel was through my mom. She loved cruises, and she'd be like, I want you to start going on cruises, and you go here and you go there to this country, that country. And I say, that's too short. You're only there for 2 days. So we started traveling. I want to say every year on our anniversary. You travel every year on your birthday.
Okay.
So today's your birthday.
Alhamdulillah.
So today's your birthday. You are in Kenya again, and I want to say every year that we've been here, you've been here every year on your birthday.
Except one. Came right before. I came a month before him.
He loves Kenya. So where else have you been? I know we can go through west all the way down to east.
I've been to Nigeria, of course, multiple times. Ethiopia, Morocco, Tanzania, Rwanda, Kenya, Egypt.
Egypt. You just came from Egypt.
Yes.
So, and all these countries are beautiful, they're amazing, but you do something a little different. You went and did your DNA, your Ancestry DNA, right? So it seems like you look for every country that you've been to that your DNA has a little...
Oh, you're pretty observant. That's pretty good. That's about right.
So to talk a little bit about that, like what did you want to explore? Why do you go and explore these different places looking for that?
Yeah. I mean, I think blacks in America, we have a very diverse ethnic background, different African ethnic groups due to slavery. So I'm no different, right? And you're no different. So I wanted to learn about the different lineages, learn about the different cultures of which my bloodline comes from, and so I kind of patterned my visits off of the DNA results as well. But sorry, what was the original question?
That's a lie.
Oh, you said why? Yeah. I've always had a very strong thirst for history in my past, ancestral past. So it started when I was very young with grandma. I would always ask her because she was the gatekeeper of the family history on both sides of the family, even not necessarily her bloodline. And I would just talk to her for hours, fascinated, wanting to know about the history and what was it like then. And I mean, we would go back to early 1900s from her memory and go back even beyond that from what was told to her. So I always had a strong hunger and thirst for it. And so then later on, as I got older, and then eventually, they rolled out the Ancestry.com where you can research your own records. But even before that rolled out, Grandma had sent me a whole package of family history of all the notes because she knew I had that appetite for it. And that has helped me between her notes and then the new technology with Ancestry. I was able to capture a lot of history within the family. And so that's been inspiring in a lot of different ways to kind of put some pieces of the puzzle together. So then take that, coming to Africa, I'm able to connect some dots and actually either verify or help to authenticate the DNA test results as it aligns with the notes from grandma and great-grandma and other greats as well.
Okay. So what's, just a little bit, I know one of your favorite countries is Morocco. Is it because you look like Moroccan or?
Well, no, I mean, all of them, each country has a unique experience for me. And it's like I really thoroughly enjoy each one for its experience. I don't necessarily have a favorite country one over the other. But what I will say in terms of if I was to think about living in a place for long periods of time, Morocco would be my first choice as of now.
Wow.
But short term, I still would like to have properties. I was inspired. Not that it was like the first time, but I was inspired by Dr. Ava when she was on your show. When you were on her show,
Mm-hmm.
Elevated Places. I think right after you visited for the first time, and how she was saying having properties in different countries in Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
so I definitely desire to do that. I do want to have properties in multiple countries. I'll decide on those countries. But for the most part, that would be more like investment or short-term stays for myself when I'm visiting. But if I was to think of a place that me myself would want to live in, periods of time or even permanently, Morocco would probably be the first choice.
Morocco. Wow.
And the reason for that, I mean, it's a strong Islamic culture there for one, and they have their own strong values and cultural practices as well. That's integrated in.
It's close to get to the States.
Yeah. It's the ease of that, the ease of the travel in and out, but also like the simplicity there too. It reminds me of like how life used to be. When I was young, the natural way of life and the simplicity of things. Not a lot of processed foods and all that and so forth. But yeah, that would be it. And then the homes are like they have what they call riads there, and just like the concept is just beautiful. It reminds me of ayat tonight in the Quran about living in gardens of paradise and so forth. So it kind of reminds me. It's just a beautiful place.
I can't wait to go see it. That's definitely on our bucket list.
Oh, you gotta go.
We've been trying to get there for before we actually came from the States. We were trying to get there. It's too expensive. God. But yeah, we never made it yet. Yeah, we haven't made it yet.
Inshallah.
So what about now? A lot of people will say Moroccans not really Africans. You have that argument all the time. You like they don't even want to call themselves Africans. They act like they're not part of Africa. But so we're going to say besides Morocco. What's like you love Nigeria as well. He keeps trying to get me to go there. It's not happening. But what do you like? So what do you like about Nigeria?
Oh man, Nigeria was that first emotional experience, I should say, where you felt like you were home for the first time. So it's like there's so much similarities between Nigerians and so-called Black Americans. Is like it's undeniable. You know what I mean? So it's like it's in the genes and the blood. And I can go on and on talking about Nigeria, but rich history, rich culture, the people. It's not so much the aesthetics. It's like Nigeria does have some beautiful places. I didn't necessarily experience all of some of the places that are really popular in terms of like vacation things. But for me, the rich part of Nigeria was the people. Yeah, the people of Nigeria. Yeah, and it's kind of hard to describe, but it's really that connection of like these my folks. These my folks.
So I know like majority of people on their DNA, Black Americans anyway, when they do that DNA test, you're going to have the majority of being Nigerian or Ghanaian, Nigerian or Ghanaian. So. And like at 40 and 50%, 60%. I don't remember what you said yours was. I'm sorry, ours was.
Yeah. Well, for the record, so I'm a what do you call it? Critical thinker, right? So I tend to not rely on any one source for information, no matter what that is. So I actually took tests from like 5 different companies.
5?
5 different companies.
I didn't know there was 5 out there.
Well, it's more than that, but I took from 5 different companies over periods of time, because each one may have a different testing pool that they may extract from, to compare and contrast, and then also in using the family records and public records to support everything. So So saying all that to say, from all of that, the average, as far as like the Nigerian representation, averaged about 30%, I would say. Yeah.
And what was the rest of it?
The rest of ours? The next largest, I guess, would be the British side. Would be that. So it's Nigerian and the British were the two largest pools. And then after that,
why the cameraman laughing so hard?
After that, it's diverse.
So
it's other
you Mazungo.
Stop it. After that, though, it's diverse between either Ghana, Mali. Sometimes they lump it together. You have Senegal. It was significant in Congo, Central Africa, and then after that, it broke out to East African and North African as well. Ancestry that we have.
Yeah. It's amazing how that happens. That's a different story altogether. But yeah, so everywhere you go, tell them the story about your Mazungo stories in Nigeria.
No, why you do that? That's not fair. No, that's not fair. That's not. Well, this. You'll get me in trouble. So this is not all of Nigeria, right? But this was in the northern part of Nigeria. I had an experience of going through security. Yeah, going through security to get on train, and the security officer or the security manager on the site saw me, I guess, on the cameras, and kind of had to pull me in the back for some questioning. And I just remember him referring to me as a white man.
Did they say a Bruni over there too?
No, he just said he's a white man. He's a white man.
Oh, he's a white man.
And at first I didn't even know he was talking about me. I was just like, I was looking over. But then I realized there was no one else in the room. I was just like, you talking about what? I was so offended and hurt. Just in the sense of not to negate that part of my ancestral background, but I ain't never been called that before. So it was like,
you gotta get a little dose of it. That's the life of coming to Africa.
Yeah, but that's not all of Nigeria. Most of my experience in Nigeria. One thing about Nigerians, once it's acknowledged that you of Nigerian ancestry, they just embrace you wholeheartedly. Family, it doesn't matter what you look like or whatever. They, but until that disclosure is made, it is what it is. But once that's established, it's like your family.
So let me ask you, because we were taught Africans don't like us. Why you want to go to Africa? They don't like us. And nowhere in Africa that I've been to have I ever felt that. Have you gotten any kind of mistreatment or snubbed or any of that type of energy from any country in Africa?
I can honestly say, as Allah is my witness, that out of all the countries that I've visited, I have never ever felt would you say snubbed or never felt any of that. It's I have been treated with open arms. It's been like welcome home. It's been my brother. The love is just incredible. It's hard to even describe. The Africans, so-called Africans on the continent, they actually look up to the blacks in America, admire and adore blacks in America, emulate blacks in America. I go in stores,
especially in Kenya.
No matter what country I'm in Africa, they be playing music from over here. I remember first time being in Nigeria, it's like, wait, is that Cardi B? So it's the love is strong. It's like they've been waiting for us to come home, and it's been nothing but welcome home, brother. Welcome home.
Yeah. And it's amazing because we don't. We were taught that they hate us, they don't like us, And so that makes us not ever want to connect. So and then it makes us like, well, they don't like us, so we don't like them. Like I remember being in Atlanta and like saying, I don't want the Nigerians to be next to us. There was a store that we had, and we had a Nigerian nail salon right next door. And I remember we were mad. It was weird. There's no reason why. We were just like, oh man, and there's no reason why. It was just something that was instilled in us to hate each other. Like, not just hate each other in the black community, but literally hate each other black across the globe. Yeah. And it's just them. Right.
Yeah, I have no doubt in terms of what you're saying and the reality of it. And even before I traveled back home to Africa, I've been very blessed to have very good relationships with. And Philly is a huge immigration city for Africans, and so I've been blessed to have very good relationships with Nigerians, Liberians, Ethiopians, you name it. We're family. We're one family. So yeah, it's been nothing but a sort of a misconception that's perpetuated. That's not to say that there aren't people who may feel a certain kind of way about Black Americans, and Black Americans feel a certain kind of way. But to promote that as if that is the majority, I'm sorry. I have my own personal experience in a pretty large data pool, I would say, going through the various countries, and also my experiences in the U.S. That's false. The majority is we're one family. No question about that.
And you always hear, and this always gets us emotional, or gets me emotional every time. You always hear, "Welcome home." Mm. And it's like, once they say that, it's like you just want to let it all out. Like, yeah. And that was my first experience coming to Mombasa. That energy was, and they had the signs up, and it was just Karibu Kenya, I think it was. But there was this energy that, okay, you home. Yeah. I didn't get that in Rwanda. I didn't get that feeling of, it was beautiful, it was peace, but when I came here, it was you home. And everybody, welcome home, Karibu Kenya, and you're like, okay.
Yeah. So I remember when y'all moved to Rwanda, and of course there's a big time zone difference. It would take me like 2 days to adjust to the time zone difference when y'all were in Rwanda and I would come to stay. But when I went to Nigeria for the first time, and I give a shout out to the number one tour company, Avid Tours, and my tour guide QB. But I remember my first night there, my first night, slept. My body adjusted to the time zone like right away. It was like no gaps. And I remember next day I was actually confused about that. I was like, how was I able to see? But I made mention that to my tour guide that I was able to adjust quickly to the time zone change, which was different. And her response was very sincerely and succinctly, "That's because you're home." And that hit me so hard.
Yeah, it's probably because it was loud, like Philly.
No, that's not why. I was actually walking peacefully on the beach. We ain't got no beaches in the city.
Yeah, and probably spiritually, your body just knows it. Your body just is like, it settles.
Well, we have in our blood, we have in our cells in our body ancestors who literally walked on continents. Some of that, so there's memory in these cells. You know what I mean? It's undeniable. It's science. You can feel it.
All right. So, what has your experience been now? You've been in and out of Kenya the most. You've been here the most.
Not sure.
You've been here at least 5 times. You've been to Nigeria twice, 3 times. Unless you've been sneaking there. You've been sneaking there.
I would say between Nigeria and Kenya is probably the most.
Oh yeah, you're going to want this here. So how do you feel about Kenya? What do you think about Kenya?
Oh man, Kenya is a magical place. Kenya has, I would say, the best of both worlds, maybe the best of
all the worlds,
3 or 4 worlds. When you think about, when you think about culture, wildlife, technology, modernization, people, the ease of traveling, in and out of Kenya. So it really has a lot to offer. And it's it's one of the economic hubs of Africa, down the line. Yeah. So Kenya never disappoints. It's always a good experience.
Okay, so now we're at the point where because again, you do a lot of research. So in your research, what makes Kenya, because you're looking, like you said, to invest in different countries in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
So what makes Kenya a good place to invest in?
Well, for one, just in general, even before going into Kenya specifically, we live in a global economy. It's the old traditional days of how the economy ran is dead and over with. We see that now, experiencing that. So living, in a global economy, come to the realization that as I, watch how the big guys move, corporations move, and they're diversified in terms of the global economy. So when one economy is going through a downturn, the investments in the other economy can help sustain them. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean, and vice versa. Mm-hmm. So we've been taught in the Nation of Islam, of course, from day one in terms of doing for self and doing trade and commerce, and not just on a domestic level, but thinking big on an international scale as well. So the blueprint's already been laid for us. So I've always, since those days of knowing that global trade and commerce is something to be serious about and be intentional about. So then it's just boiling down to making the right move. So of course Africa, not just from our own personal experiences, but the data supports. Africa is really a key resource partner for the world for survival. And so you're seeing partnerships. When you look at the global scene, you look at the different partnerships with Africa that's happening now. It's reflective of that. And go on and on. So, but Kenya, in my humble opinion, seems to offer to, especially blacks in America, or even those just outside of the continent who, may be looking to just come to visit. It just offers, as I hear you say often, a soft landing for those who want to come to either visit or even move to, because of the best of the 3 or 4 worlds that we talked about, and the ease of traveling in and out, doing business. It is also an English-speaking country too, along with the native language, so that helps in terms of the communication piece. But Kenya specifically, doing my own homework for what I'm wanting to invest in, the data supports, a strong opportunity for investment. If you make the right move, right investment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I can see that, and I see there is definitely, with the help of channels like yourself and the amazing, crazy work you have done through Heiress to Africa and creating awareness around the continent and breaking down I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it, but breaking down the barriers, because you're my sister, but breaking down those walls and barriers, and all the misconceptions. You've inspired a lot of people, to take a different perspective and look at Africa and want to come here. And so not only do you inspire those who want to come, but you've inspired others to also do what you're doing. So there's a growing trend for sure, and a movement to sort of return back to Africa in some way, shape, or form. And I see Kenya as being one of those key leaders in that migration. So it just from a business perspective, it makes a whole lot of sense for me.
Now, what about, because you're a few years shy of retiring.
What?
You're a few years shy?
What?
What?
You got the wrong guess, first of all.
Only
Pause.
women, we care about our age. Lord.
Well, let me just say for the record, I never bought into the American dream about working and then retiring and living off of retirement and blah, 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 blah.
I mean, from you walking away from your job type of thing.
Well, that's different. So for the record, I have no intentions on ever retiring. I intend to continue to do business and live off of business, investments, and income till the casket drop.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking about from plantation.
I can do that any day,
Okay.
if I need to.
Never mind then.
So,
Anyway, do you feel like this is a good place for you to retire to? Like, we have a base, and then, of course, you're going to still keep traveling, but have a base, or is that the goal of buying this property, is to have a base? And
I would say Kenya, for me personally, I could see Kenya for a lot of people in terms of a good retirement setting. You know what I mean? Especially if we talk about blacks in America, they haven't experienced the continent. I mean, this is, as you say, it's a great soft landing that they want. For me personally, I guess my experiences is different. If I was to think about, again, me living somewhere for extended periods of time, if where I'm not, working at a job per se, that for me personally probably be in a different country, for that. But I want to have definitely a base here in Kenya where, I can have a place to go and stay and visit. Kenya is just, it's an amazing place, magical.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Kenya is very magical for us, and it's been good to us. I love Kenya. Kenya is just so rich, and I think I explained it as milk chocolate. Kenya's milk chocolate.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, so thank you.
Thank you for having me.
We're looking to get you your investment property out here. Thank you for trusting in ARS to Africa to make that happen for you.
Oh, of course. Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me on your. What's what I want to say? This is a very special platform that you have. Very special platform, touching on a lot of people. There are people that started following you that through me, they didn't even tell me until after the fact that they, I don't follow this. I said, really? Thanks for letting me know. But you're touching and inspiring a lot of people. You're doing amazing work, and I pray God continues to keep you inspired and bless you in all of your efforts.
Thank you.